were rescue and recovery workers, then the word eventually morphed into responder to incorporate everybody that was down there serving the site.
So, we got work to do. That's just all there is to it. Anything else that you would like to say, ladies? Jacqui, you've been awesome. You've been strong.
Thank you. I appreciate that. My husband was the brave one. He's the one every day that had to lie in bed and gasp for air. He's the one that lost his ability to walk and his entire life. He was a warrior. That's what we called him every day, and I was so proud to be his wife. And it hurt so bad to see what happened to him. To go from a tall, strong, athletic, healthy, happy man to be completely crippled and depend on others for everything. To feed him, to bathe him. He was so heartbroken at what happened to him. But as you all mentioned, the happiest days of his life was serving the city of New York as he started in transit, then he became a regular police officer with the NYPD, then a sergeant, then a lieutenant. He loved his job, he loved his life, and he loved his family. And I'd like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about my husband. And there are so many others that gave themselves so selflessly. And I want people to please remember them, not just on 9/11, but every day.
Well, then how we got connected, well said, by the way, Jacqui, how we got connected with Claudia is through Del Wilbur. And one of Del's top items on being American is being an American is about being part of something that's bigger than yourself. And,
Amen.
and what your husband did was certainly, he lived that, gave his life for America. And so that shakes you up.
You know, that word heroes is thrown around a little too easily these days, and I think people have lost the concept. You know, I just read on your Facebook and your website about the event with all the Medal of Honor winners. Those guys are heroes, but you know what? They'll be the last ones to ever let you call them a hero.
Yep.
These are Medal of Honor heroes. You know, and Lewis was a hero. These 1,800 people who died were heroes. The tens of thousands that went down there were all heroes in some regard because they faced the devil and they charged in anyway.
Well, the ones that, what they say,
that's being bigger than yourself.
it is, and those people, and I was certainly naive in talking to some of these guys, and they straightened me out, as they should. And the heroes in their minds are the people that unfortunately don't get to go home, or they've been injured to a point where they can't enjoy life, such as what Lewis went through. And Claudia, you're going through this too. I don't want to take anything away here. Claudia's got...
Well, and I took your advice, Dave. I got myself, although it's not exactly bourbon, but it's Tennessee Honey Jack, and that's keeping my cough down right now.
It's Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey with a woman's touch, some honey added.
Yeah, there you go. It's the honey that does it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, Jacqui, our sympathy.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, I'm thinking that you need to be heard again if that's what you want to do. And
I'm more than happy to speak to anybody. I'm more than happy. I think that people like my husband, their picture should be out there. If you see the befores and the afters, I think people would be very shocked. And there's so many other people out there that's on oxygen, life support, in wheelchairs, and it's really a scary thing. But I so appreciate your time, and to your listeners, thank you for listening to my story.
well, I've got to ask you, because it is baseball season, World Series season, and since the Mets are in there, was he a Yank fan or was he a Mets fan?
He was a Yankee fan.
Okay, all right.
Yes, he was, but he would be rooting right now for the Mets.
And we'll be...
Only because the Yankees aren't playing.
Right. Just because it's the Royals, that's right.
Well, we certainly need to, part of New York will forever be, what happened on 9/11, as it would happen. We talked to David King that was in the Pentagon whenever the airplane hit that building.
A major in the Army, and he was serving there at the Pentagon that morning.
Matter of fact, from what we've been able to gather, that he was probably as close to the impact. He was far enough away, but so close that he was probably one of the closest people that actually survived that event. And he had, you know, the airplane fuel and all that stuff was, you know, swarming around him. He got burned big time. And he was able to take us through that event. And I've never heard anything like that before. So he's a brave individual. And as all of those people are, you know, the poor folks that didn't make it at that time, and now many of them probably are, like you're saying, Claudia and Jacqui, are sick from the aftermath of all this stuff. So, wow. Well, ladies, Claudia, are you up for this again next week, or?
Absolutely, and I have some other responders in mind also that would love to speak to you.
Okay.
And share their story.
Well, they're speaking
Jacqui's what a blessing, and I can't thank her enough. I want to publicly say that. Thank you so much, Jacqui. You're my sister, and I love you. And I'm so glad
Claudia,
you're
for
here.
everything that she does for us. She is so hardworking and dedicated to this. She spends every minute of her day researching and getting messages and spreading the word out there. So thank you, and thank you for inviting me to be part of this.
Absolutely. I mean, Claudia is a warrior, and she is a now person, because I've communicated with her a little bit, and she is on top of things, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, she is.
I mean, on top of things. So,
Well, you're still with us. Well, you're still with us. I'd like to put out.
I didn't hear you. What did you say, Claudia?
I said this is where the Lord has called me to be, and so this is where I'm at.
Amen.
And I dedicate my story.
While you're still with us, I'd like to put out a call to all of our listeners around the world and ask for your support here. This doesn't necessarily have to be a 100% federal government effort here. I think that our listeners now understand more clearly, after hearing from you, that these brave men and women are actually, these are casualties of war. And there must be something that all of us working together can do to help out in this situation.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Claudia, well, we'll call you again next Monday right after Bill Johnson. And I asked him, I don't know if he could or not, because, but I asked him to listen, and because he's a solution-oriented individual, and like you say, he's right there in Kentucky.
He's an 87-year-old, or soon to be 87-year-old.
No, he's 85. M's 86.
Oh, 86. All right.
He's been married for 67 years.
Okay, then he's soon to be 86.
There we go. So,
yeah, he's a marvel. I love listening.
So we're cheerleaders for all you guys, and that number one point, Claudia, you know, part about being American is thinking beyond yourself, and you folks are living that.
Thank you.
Way to be.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Jacqui, very nice to meet you, and I'm going to say for
Talking with you.
for your husband, and I know he would root for the Mets, and I'm going to say go Mets. So.
That's a big thing to say.
Well,
thank you.
Well, I mean, it's. I bet there's going to be some emotions there. I mean, New York City's got some big-time things that's happened in that community, and the people have stepped up. And I've known several New Yorkers that lived right in like one was Staten Island, one was out there on Long Island, and then another group of people were actually their offices weren't all that far away from where LaGuardia was located. Yep.
God bless America.
You betcha. All right, ladies. Jacqui?
Thank you.
our hearts are out to you and our prayers are with you. Okay?
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And thank you to all the listeners. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak with you.
We will continue. Thank you, Claudia.
Thank you. Take care, you guys. Bye, Jeff.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got to roll up our sleeves and get to work here. 9-11 Rescue Workers and Friends. Let's see here, Jeff. The House Bill, the HB 1786, Senate is S928. The phone number for Mitch McConnell, since he's the guy that makes the decisions on what bills will be addressed. I'm going down here to see more. Mitch McConnell's Washington, D.C. office phone number is 202-224-2541. Right up above that posting, you'll see, you just click on that image of Rescue Workers and Friends, and that will take you right to the website that Claudia and her team has created there. And think about Lewis. Think about what Jacqui went through. You know, to care for her husband and deal with, you know, all of the challenges of seeing an amazing individual that thought well beyond himself, thought about America and his efforts. He wanted to help. And he was exposed to some things that took his life. And he was very fortunate to have someone love him like Jacqui did and care for him through his illness. And you hear that she has been landed with a lot of debt. And, you know, and I'm sure Lewis would like to see his wife that cared for him so well to be able to live without the burden of debt. My goodness. So, it's amazing what Americans have to go through. It's just mind-boggling. Appreciate you, ladies. And Lewis, may you rest in peace, man.